Are you thinking of moving to Hamilton, Ontario? Stop. Before you even start packing those bags, you need to familiarize yourself with the pros and cons of living here in Hamilton, Ontario. Yes, it is a beautiful city, but there are some things you need to know before you decide to call Hamilton your home. Are you ready? Let's jump right into the video. Now you might be wondering, why are people really moving to Hamilton? Now I know there are a lot of pros, yes, of moving to Hamilton, but there are some hidden cons that you might not be familiar with. Now I will start with the pros. So if you want to familiarize yourself and get to know about the cons, stay tuned until the end of this video. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, I would invite you to go ahead and hit the subscription button right now. Also hit the notification bell so you will see when the next real estate video drops. Now let's look into the first pro of moving here to Hamilton, Ontario, and it is the affordability compared to Toronto and the GTA area. Rent is cheaper. Buying a house here is cheaper compared to the GTA, of course. So you find a lot of persons who are living in Toronto and the GTA who cannot afford those $1 million houses or over $2 million houses, right? They move here and you can get a decent sized family house for under $1 million. You can get backyard space, maybe even an in-law suite where you can rent out that basement, that self-contained area, as an investment property. So the affordability is what is driving persons here from the GTA to Hamilton, Ontario, right? And you'll find a lot of persons, they move here and they commute. They drive or they take the GO bus or the GO train, which we will get further in when we talk about another pro of moving here to Hamilton. So the number one is affordability and cost of living, renting, and purchasing of your home. Number two is a job opportunity, especially if you're a healthcare worker. Nurses, where you at? If you're a nurse, let me know in the comment. I'm a nurse myself, full-time registered nurse. That's what I do full-time, and I do real estate also. So I'm very much familiar with the healthcare industry here in Hamilton, Ontario. I remember when I was living in the GTA, I could not get a job in the healthcare industry, and that's the reason why, how comes I end up moving here to Hamilton, Ontario? Because I was job searching at the time, and I moved here temporarily, thinking it was a temporary move, because at the time I was seeking a job. I got a job here, and I told my employee, when there is a opening in the GTA back in Mississauga, then I would move back to Mississauga, right? And it happens that when that opportunity arises, and I realized, oh, as I spoke about the cost of living here in Hamilton compared to Toronto and the GTA, if I had moved back to Mississauga, chances are I would not become an homeowner within the period of time that I planned on purchasing my first house as a single mom back then. So, pro tip, affordability, number one, and two, the opportunity for healthcare providers to find a job here. Now, if you're wondering what are the different hospitals here, we have St. Joseph Hospital, which is divided into general and mental health. There is Hamilton Health Sciences. There is Masters Children's Hospital. And there's St. Peter's Hospital. There's Drovinsky Hospital. Separate and apart from the hospitals, there are several different healthcare agencies that run here in Hamilton. I know of St. Elizabeth, there's home care, visiting home care, VON, there is Bayshore, there's CIB, CBI, remember where it is. But there are several different opportunities for healthcare providers. So nurses, if you're struggling to find job opportunities in the GTA, my advice would be check out Hamilton job websites. If you find a job there, then check out the opportunities when it comes on to affordability of purchasing your house. Compare it yourself to the GTA and tell me what you think in the comments. I recently did a video of, buying your first house, where I spoke about finding the right realtor who's familiar with the city or area that you want to live in. Now, if that sounds like you planning on moving here to Hamilton, you're looking for a realtor, I'll be happy to assist you in your home ownership goal. I will leave the link to my Calendly so you can set up a virtual coffee chat about your home buying needs. How does that sound? Let me know in the comments. Now, pro tip number 3, why persons are moving here to Hamilton, Ontario, is the location and the convenience of the 403 and the highway, right? We're in the perfect area right in the middle of the GTA and Niagara Falls, right? So you're not really missing out. You're like 50 minutes away from Toronto and about 45 minutes away from Niagara Falls, which takes you to the border of the US, Buffalo. So another pro tip, if you're traveling and if you find that the prices at Toronto Pearson Airport is too much, you can just drive to the border, 45 minutes to Buffalo, and you hop on a cheaper flight to New York, to Atlanta, to Miami, wherever you want to go in the world. You explore, right? So that's one pro I love about living here in Hamilton. For entertaining, Niagara does it all the time. If we feel like getting into Toronto, 50 minutes, and you get into the hot spot of all the amenities and all the extras that's the lifestyle that you want, is right there in Toronto. Just a hopscotch away, you can jump on the 403, on the QEW, and you are there, or even the 407, and you're in Toronto. So that's a pro tip, right? And if you don't want to drive, you don't feel like driving, jump on the GO train or the GO bus, and it takes you there. Either way, east or west, you will get to your destination. So we're at a very convenient location, which is not too far from all the other entertaining and the other things that you want to indulge in. Family, friends, right? It's here, close by, not too far. Now, the next pro of moving here to Hamilton is the natural beauty and the outdoor life opportunity that Hamilton offers. Did you know that Hamilton is known as a waterfall capital of the world? Yes, we have over 100 waterfalls here in Hamilton. So throughout the spring, the summer, the fall season, and you don't want to be indoors, there are lots of things to do outdoors in Hamilton. Go for a hiking. Go do the stairs. We have two of the most powerful exercising staircase. Kenilworth staircase and Wentworth. So there are two high rising. So if you are that fitness outdoorsy person and you want to indulge in activity in fitness, you don't have to go to the gym. You just use those staircase up and down, or you take your bike and you go on a trail, or you use your feet, you go hiking, right? So we have lots of outdoor activities, parks, Royal Botanical Garden, where you can go by, you can take photos if you're getting married. That's where we took our wedding pictures, actually, Royal Botanical Garden. So there are lots of things to do outside if you are that outdoorsy person. Even during the winter time, there are things to do here outside if you're that type of person. Now, before I get into number 5, have you subscribed to this channel as yet? Yes, no? We're about to dive into number 5. So if you're not subscribed as yet, what are you waiting for? I invite you to go ahead and hit the subscription button. While you're at it, also hit the notification bell so you will be notified when the next real estate video drops. Now, let's look into number 5, and it is the culture. Yes, we have a very mixed culture here in Hamilton. A sort of a small town feel, right? Friendly people. We have vibrant mix of art, music, food scene, festivals, local markets, and events. We have lots of schools, different options for schools. And talking about schools, we have a university. Did you know that we have Masters University here in Hamilton? We have colleges. We have Mohawk College, yes. We also have Brock University that is not too far out of Hamilton. It's sort of at the border of Hamilton and St. Catharines, right? So if you have your kids are moving to a university, maybe they didn't get through within Toronto, within the GTA, then try to encourage them to apply to Hamilton, to apply to McMaster University, to apply to Mohawk College, to apply to Brock University. And that will be an excuse for you to move here, right? So that's it for the pros. I'm sure that there are lots more, but in today's video, I only wanted to cover 5. I don't want to bore you. So now that you are familiar with all the pros, let's look at the cons. The number one con that you might face if you move here to Hamilton is the commute and traffic issues. Yes, the highways get a bit congested during rush hours. So to avoid that, or to get ahead of that, if you are commuting, you live here and you're traveling to Toronto for work, then you have to maybe leave out a bit earlier, right? So timing the traffic so that you are ahead of the traffic. And the GO train or transit services are not as up there as Toronto. It's a bit slower, although it's improving, but it's a bit slower than Toronto. So if you're commuting to Toronto from Hamilton, expect longer delays, especially during the winter time. So you have to have this mindset and prepare that that would be a con, a disadvantage, but you have to try to work your way around it. Hey, you're getting a cheaper buck, paying less mortgage, right? So at times we have to improvise. Number 2 is the aesthetic parts of it. And some areas, they just don't look the greatest, right? We have more older buildings, especially in the downtown area. So when you as you exit the highway and you're entering Hamilton through the downtown exit, like if you're exit off Main Street East, for example, and you're coming down, driving into Hamilton, you might feel a bit turned off because of the appearance, the aesthetic of how it looks, right? But you have to have the mindset that that's just one area of Hamilton. I know, because that was a big turn off for me also. Leaving Mississauga or Toronto and driving into Hamilton for the first time, I was like, what's this? Especially driving downtown Hamilton. It definitely can be a lot of a big turn off, especially now where there are a lot of homeless persons on the street, a lot of substance use. So those are 2 cons that you have to watch out for, right? Right now, there are some areas that you find high theft, break-ins, but I'm sure that's in comparison to a lot of different areas in Toronto also, right? So crime rates, again, of course, that's specifically more prevalent in some areas. So if you're planning on moving here to Hamilton, you have to do your due diligence of researching the neighborhoods. Make sure that you're avoiding like some areas downtown, more the north side, the north end. There is south and there's north. So if you have to live downtown, maybe choose the south area and maybe the west end rather than east end, because there are good spots and bad spots everywhere, right? In every city. But again, I can't emphasize enough that when you're moving to Hamilton, find a realtor that is familiar with Hamilton, Ontario, right? You don't want to get somebody who's from Toronto and they find a house like in the certain Barton Street area or down at the North End area, Cannon, down that side, and you're like, what's this? You have to be watching. You see several persons on the street, homeless, walking around. So you want to do your research and familiarize yourself with the neighborhood, right? So as I said, good spots, bad spots. If you're choosing on the mountain, there's Central Mountain, there's East Mountain, there's West Mountain. There is also surrounding cities, joint cities, Ancaster, Stony Creek, Waterdown. There's Binbrook, which is a little outskirts of Hamilton, Hannan. So there are a lot of good spots and there are some bad spots, unfortunately. Now, another con that I'm sure you want to know about is the rising home prices. Yes, although we're cheaper, more affordable than Toronto, home prices in Hamilton have been increasing. Yes. So if you're planning on purchasing a house here in Hamilton, do not wait. Don't wait. You need to start working at it right now. I recently did a video of how you can purchase your first house, especially if you're an immigrant here in Canada. You can go check it out after watching this one. I'll leave it somewhere up here, right? But the real estate market is competitive, especially for first-time home buyers. More demand from Toronto buyers who are driving up the house prices, because you find a lot of Toronto buyers, they sell their houses and then they might be able to buy a house here for cash or pay down a higher down payment, which gives them a lower mortgage amount to pay at the end of the day, right? So don't sleep on it. Don't wait too long, because the house prices are definitely creeping up here in Hamilton. Overall, Hamilton is a great choice for affordability, outdoor activities, and job opportunities. But it is not perfect. If you're considering moving to Hamilton, make sure that you do your research for the best neighborhoods, factor in commute time, and prepare for the colder winter here in Hamilton. Now, let me know in the comments if you would like for me to break down some of the best neighborhoods in Hamilton, Ontario. And again, if you're looking for a realtor who is familiar with Hamilton, Ontario, just book your free virtual coffee chat with me. I will leave it in the description below. Thank you so much for sticking to the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.